Hello everybody! Today I'm here doing another video adding one new character to every single series in Disney Heroes Battle Mode. And it was not that long since I did the previous one of these, and this is the same premise. And I will re-explain what I'm doing here. Basically, I'm imagining what it would be like if we added another character to every series in the game already. And just for context, that is 51 series. And I will also be listing the previous characters that I guessed and suggested, and we'll also mention if they were actually eventually added. And yeah, I've got a whole new list here, and there's only one new series compared to last time, and I don't know, I'm guessing this series has been added at this point, but just in case, it will be the very last series, so if you don't want to be spoiled about it, I'm pretty confident it'll already be out by the time this video comes out. But anyways, I'm pretty excited to get started, and it's going to be a really long video, so I'm going to try to do it a little bit quicker than I did the last time, so hopefully it's a little bit shorter. So let's just get into it, I guess. I feel like I had more to say, but that's fine. The first series we have is Toy Story, and in the past, Lotso and Miss Potato Head were my first two. The previous video I did Bullseye, and this time around I thought we should get some Toy Story 3 representation because we actually don't have any in the game right now. I would really want to get Lotso, but my second pick would be Chunk, and I always thought he just had the coolest design of the kind of minions in that movie. Some of the other ones like Stretch and Big Baby are pretty cool too, but I think Chunk is my favorite, and I think he has pretty good potential for a moveset. And I feel like I could just imagine him in the style of the game. So I think he'd be a really cool choice to get added in. And like I said, we need some Toy Story 3 representation for sure. Let's just go right ahead to the Incredibles. I've already mentioned Underminer, Edna Mode, and Void. And Void was the only character so far that I suggested for in the Incredibles 2. So I figured we should do that again. And who better than the main villain, the Screenslaver, otherwise known as Evelyn Dever. I don't know if they would want to keep her in her costume, or if maybe they would have her switch back and forth. Maybe she starts out as the Evelyn Dever and then she puts on her costume as like a active skill. I don't know, I think that'd be kind of cool. And I feel like, I don't know, she could definitely disrupt the tech. She could stun them, she could charm them, I guess. That would probably be a good idea. So yeah, there's a lot of potential for her. I kind of doubt they're going to add any more Incredibles characters, but who knows. Maybe she's more likely than I'm thinking. The next series is The Muppets, and funny enough, the first two characters I asked for were Fozzie Bear and Kermit, who have both since been added. The next character I went for was Sam Eagle, and today I think it'd just be really fun to see Sweetums in the game. I really don't know much about Sweetums. I just think Sweetums has a fun design, and there's not really any other characters that look like Sweetums, so it'd be really fun to just have Sweetums be, I don't know, part of the team. And you could, at this point with Muppets, you could really just pick any character you'd like. So that's why I went with Sweetums. Let's move on to Zootopia. And we've gotten Clawhauser, which is one of the characters I thought of, and another one, Gazelle, who I still think is pretty likely, we just haven't seen yet. And then last time I did Bellwether. This time, we're kind of running out of characters here, so this character doesn't get a lot of screen time. I went for Mayor Lionheart, and he's definitely not as popular as many of the other characters, but like I said, we're just kind of running out of characters. We don't have any lion characters in the game. Well, that's not even true. What am I talking about? We have Simba. But, I mean, I don't know. I think Mayor Lionheart kind of looks cool. I'd be interested to see what kind of moveset they could make for him. I don't even know if it would be possible. But like I said, we're kind of running out of characters for Zootopia, so we're going to have to start coming up with some not so likely ones, I guess. The next series is DuckTales, and my first thought was Webby and Beakley as a duo, And then I went for Lena from the new series. And last time I went with Glomgold, who is much more iconic in the newer series. And the next character that I'm going for is kind of the same idea. I chose Gyro this time around, who again has much more of a personality in the newer one, I feel like. And to be fair, I've never seen the original series, so he could be a lot more prominent than I'm thinking. But just based off of his design alone, I feel like he was more of a background character than anything. But still, I really like Gyro in the newer series, so I'm sure they could at least incorporate some of his personality from that as well, if he didn't have any in the past. I'm sure he did have some personality. I just don't know. I like his design a lot better from the new one too. But I went with Gyro anyways. We're really running out of characters for DuckTales because we've gotten so many already. So let's just go to Inside Out. And we've got all the main ones. The first character I went for was Fear, who we since got. And then I suggested Bing Bong, who we have yet to get, and I feel like would be pretty likely if they were to get another Inside Out character. And then last time I suggested Jangles. This time, you know, we're really running dry. I went for the Imaginary Boyfriend. Now hear me out. It'd be really fun to have an idea similar to how they do in the Muppets, how they do Beaker, where they just keep like spawning in and dying. And now we wouldn't have someone like Bunsen to control it. So I don't really know. I guess they want to do Bing Bong and the Imaginary Boyfriend, but I really doubt it. But I just think it'd be a fun idea to have just an onslaught of them running in and constantly dying and continuing to spawn in. That'd be kind of fun. So again, it's kind of the same idea as Beaker, I was thinking. I don't know what other characters to suggest at this point. Let's go ahead to Wreck-It Ralph. And I've already suggested King Candy and Yes from the second movie. Last time we went with Sour Bill. And this time I think Taffeta is the next character. And she was one of the more important characters in the original one. She was the main kind of antagonist to Vanellope. And I think a lot of people ended up liking her personality. I didn't much care for her, but she's pretty iconic, I would say, as part of the racers. And I guess she could drive around in her car. I really don't know what else they would have her do. But yeah, again, another series we've gotten most of the good characters for. And Taffeta is a pretty good character, I guess, so let's put her in there. Aladdin's the next series. And I suggested Abu the first time, who I think is the most likely one to get next. And the next time I went with Iago. And last time I suggested Magic Carpet. And the other character I'm going with today, who's a pretty main one actually, the Sultan. Again, hard to make a moveset for him potentially, but he is a pretty important character to the movie. He's got a pretty nice personality, so I think it'd be fun to see the Sultan. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. I don't know what he would do. But we're running out of characters for that series as well. Let's go to Alice in Wonderland, which just has an onslaught of side characters, so just pick one, and that's what you go with. I've already suggested Tweedledee and Tweedledum, Absalom, and the White Rabbit. And now I'm going with the March Hare. And like I said, I literally just like looked through, March Hare looks good, let's go with him. I don't remember what the March Hare does. I know he's pretty crazy, so I'm sure you could have a moveset similar to maybe the Mad Hatter or something. I guess the Mad Hatter's moveset isn't even that crazy. He's actually pretty calm, isn't he? But the March Hare could be a much crazier version of that, so that'd be fun to see, I suppose. Let's go to Big Hero 6. The first two I suggested were Fred and Go-Go, who unfortunately still have not been added. Last time I figured Yokai would be the best next character, since we've gotten all the main team. And today I'm kind of going with a similar theme, where I'm thinking Yama would be next. And Yama was definitely a very small part of the movie overall. But I didn't think I should choose from the TV show, because I'm not sure how likely it would be to get any characters from the TV show. I think the most like likely one from the TV show would be Globby, since he's like the most important character from that, or like the fans probably like him the most. But yeah, from just choosing from the main movie, I think Yama's the best character next. I suppose someone like Aunt Cass or something would be a good choice too. But I decided to go with Yama. Maybe he would bring in his robot, similar to how Hero does. And his robot designs is pretty cool, so that'd be fun to see. Now we have Lilo and Stitch. First time I suggested Lilo. Then I thought a duo of Jumba and Pleakley would happen, and we got them both separately, so I was kind of right. Last time I suggested Captain Gantu. And since we got Angel, I think it's fair to say that we could get other TV show characters from Lilo and Stitch. So I went with Leroy. I guess he technically was part of the third movie, but that was like a direct-to-DVD movie. They don't seem to reference those too often in the game, but still, Leroy's pretty cool. He's kind of like the anti-Stitch. He's like what Carnage is to Venom. So I think Leroy would be an awesome inclusion, and he would fit right in with Stitch and Angel. They all just kind of work really well together, design-wise. Now we move on to Mulan, and I'm really out of characters for this one. I went with a trio at first, which is probably a bad idea in hindsight, but I went with Yao Ling and Shen Po. And then I suggested Ping. I don't know what I was thinking there. Last time I suggested Hayabusa, the hawk. And this time I decided to go with either her grandfather or just the ancestors in general. All the ghost figures that show up in the movie. I guess the easiest way to make a character out of it would just be to say the grandfather, but there are so many ancestors that I don't know, if the grandfather really works alone, but I also don't know how they would make all the ancestors a single character, so maybe it would just be the grandfather and then you just summon in the other characters as well. I don't know, but I think that'd be cool to see. I don't believe we have any ghost characters, so that's a new addition, I guess. The next series is Pirates of the Caribbean, and we've already went for Captain Salazar, Elizabeth Swann, and William Turner. This time I think a good idea would be to add Joshua Gibbs. This is another series where it's kind of like, alright, we've gotten all the main ones. Let's just look at who your favorite side characters are. I just like Joshua Gibbs' facial hair. I remember liking him in the movies. It's been a long time since I watched the movies, but I do remember liking him at least a little bit more than some of the other side characters, so it'd be fun to get him. We haven't gotten any pirate characters in a long time, so I don't know if it's even likely at this point. And I really don't think Joshua Gibbs would be the most likely next one, but we gotta add someone, so let's just go ahead to the Lion King. This one isn't that likely either. I've already suggested Mufasa, a trio between Shenzi, Bonsai, and Ed, and then Zazu. This time around, since there's so few characters left, I just went with Simba's mom, Sarabi. And again, this is one you just can't make a moveset for. She doesn't do much in the movie, but there just really aren't any more main characters, so I really didn't know who to suggest at this point. Maybe I'm just forgetting someone and there is another main character, but I really do think we've gone through all of them. So, I think Sarabi would be fun to see. I don't know how they do it, but it'd be fun to see. Let's go to the Nightmare Before Christmas, which I think I actually got a pretty good character for. We've gotten Lock, Shock, and Barrel, who is the first character I suggested, and then the next one was the Mayor. Last time I went for Dr. Finkelstein, and this time I'm thinking Zero could actually be pretty likely, and I can't believe I kind of forgot about Zero. I was just looking at the characters. I was like, oh yeah, Zero's awesome. So I decided to add him in too. He could be part of one of their movesets for all I know. I don't remember. But I would love to see him as his own character regardless. They don't seem to really add pets as their own characters all that often, which maybe means he's a little less likely than the rest of them. But still, it'd be fun to see Zero. And if they're going to continue to add one each year, they'd have to add Zero eventually, right? Because they're just going to start running out of characters anyways, so Maybe they would move on to like the Haunted Mansion or something instead of Nightmare Before Christmas. That doesn't have to be their tradition. But anyways, the next series is Beauty and the Beast. And we've already gone for a lot of characters. We did a duo between Lumiere and Cogsworth, another duo of Mrs. Potts and Chip. Last time I just simply went with Maurice, and another human character. I'm going for LeFou this time. And I don't know, we have Gaston. LeFou's pretty fun as a sidekick. He doesn't do all that much, but he is a funny character, I guess. I don't know. That's another one where it's just like, well, kind of just pick another character you like. LeFou's pretty alright. It'd be fun to see what they could come up with for him, sorry. The next series we have is Frozen. We really need Anna, who is obviously the first character I suggested. And then the next one I went for is Marshmallow, which is kind of a weird choice, but then the next one is pretty obvious, Hans. And this time is another one where I'm just like, okay, I guess we'll go with Duke Weaselton, if you want to make fun of him. I don't think I'll ever choose a character from the second movie because there aren't any that mattered. But Duke Weaselton was pretty funny in the original one, so let's go with him. He could definitely do his like dancing as part of his like skills. I could definitely see one being called a chicken with the face of a monkey. So that would be fun to see. Hercules is the next series, and we already suggested Zeus, a duo between Pegasus and Phil. Last time I did Hermes, and I feel like I kind of just stole this from Disney Sources Arena again, but I also can't believe I didn't think of this until now, but another duo of Pain and Panic. I was kind of like, oh yeah, Pain and Panic do exist, don't they? And that'd be fun to see. Again, we saw it in Disney Sources Arena. It could definitely work. I like Pain and Panic's designs, so it'd be fun to see, and we need some more villains characters, so it'd be great to get Pain and Panic to go alongside Hades. Now we move on to Mickey Mouse. We really need Pete and Daisy Duck, who are my first two suggestions. Last time I suggested Clarabelle. This time, Mortimer, or Mortimer Mouse, I guess. And he's probably a lot lesser known of a character. He shows up now and again. He's not that prominent, but I don't know why I like Mortimer specifically, but I do. And he's kind of like an opposite of Mickey in a way, who's still a mouse. He's just like a tall Mickey, basically. I don't know. Mortimer's alright. Maybe I should have went with another character, like the Big Bad Wolf. I don't want to copy Disney Sources Arena all that much, so that's why I kind of figured we'd try Mortimer. I really don't think Mortimer would ever happen, but I like him, so why not? The next series is Monsters, Inc. First I suggested Henry Waternoose, and then Roz, who I think is probably more likely. Last time I thought of Mike's girlfriend Celia, and this time I went with Randall's sidekick Fungus, who isn't that important to the overall movie. That scene where he gets his lips inflated is pretty funny, I guess. I almost went with the guy who gets the sock on him and gets all of his hair shaved, just because he's kind of a funny character, but Fungus I think is a little bit more of a main character. Like I said, we are looking for more villain characters, so it'd be fun to see Fungus too. He's got a pretty fun design too, with his three lenses. The next series is Onward, and luckily I thought of another character, since we already have so many of them, and last time I suggested Laurel, their mother. And this I'm going for the mother's boyfriend, Colt Bronco. And they could definitely make a moveset for him. You know, he is a half horse, so they could definitely have a moveset of him running around or just kicking people with his back hooves or something, driving around in his cop car. You know, there's a lot of different opportunities for Colt Bronco, so I think he could actually work pretty well. I don't know if they're planning on adding any more Onward characters, but it'd be fun to see Colt Bronco, I think. The next series is Tangled, and the first time I thought of Mother Gothel. The second time I went with a duo with Maximus and Pascal. Now, we only got Maximus, we haven't seen Pascal. Last time I thought Hook Hand would be a good one, kind of just picking a character from the pub, and this is kind of the same theme, just picking another character. This one's kind of one of the more prominent and probably more fan favorite ones, Shorty, the little like Cupid drunk old man. It'd be fun to just see him like stumbling across stage. I could imagine like a rope picking him up and him like flying across the stage with his bow and arrow and stuff. I don't know. I don't know if they'd be allowed to add a character who's just like canonically drunk. They never really say that he is, but he obviously is. I don't know if they'd be allowed to do it. I guess they did it in the Disney movie, so why not? So it'd be fun to see, I think. Maybe he's more likely than I thought. I don't know. Probably not. Let's just go to Treasure Planet. And the only character I've suggested for that one is Delbert Doppler. And literally the only other main character that we have left is Ben, the robot character who feels kind of like forcefully introduced. I really don't understand why they even added him to the movie. He wasn't that important. I feel like they just wanted to show off like their CG animations or something. I really don't know. I don't know why they added Ben. He was just kind of added in at a random point in the movie. But he is a main character, so I guess he deserves a spot. I don't know. We've already gotten the most of the main cast already, so there's not really much else to go for. So let's see Ben get added. I'd be curious how they make it work. The next series is Tron Legacy, and I've never known who to suggest for this series, and I still don't. I think my last choice of Sam Flynn was actually a pretty good one. My previous two choices were Jem and Sark, who I have no idea who they even are. And this is another character from Tron Legacy who I just don't know who it is, but they are a character from Tron. Her name is Castor. I don't know who this is, but they are a character in the movie, so that's good enough for me. Let's move on. Winnie the Pooh is the next series. We haven't gotten any new ones from this one, and I think pretty much any of the side characters are likely, just because if we were to get another one, they're all equally pretty important. So I've already mentioned Owl, Piglet, and Kanga and Roo as a duo. This time I just went with Rabbit, who is one of the more main side characters, I would say. Like Piglet and Rabbit are probably the other two main ones. And then like we still have Christopher Robin or something we could add. Oh yeah, we have Eeyore. What am I saying? Yeah, we already have Eeyore. But yeah, really just with that one, we've gotten all the main characters for that one, so hopefully we get to see them all added someday. It probably won't happen, but it would be fun to see a full Winnie the Pooh cast. Let's go to Darkwing Duck, where it's kind of just been a tradition to choose a villain from the series. I think it's a fun thing to do. The first villain I chose was Steelbeak, next time was Quackerjack, and the last time I did Liquidator. Well, this time the anti-Darkwing Duck, I would say, is Negaduck. Let's just clarify, it's spelled N-E-G-A. And I was introduced to this character in the new DuckTales series. I thought he was a pretty cool anti-hero. And I don't know, just characters that are basically the original character but are like the opposite colors. I think that's always kind of a fun idea. Again, I really like Carnage, so maybe that's why I'm attracted to characters like that. Not attracted, what? I'm drawn to those characters, maybe that's a better way to say it. Don't get me wrong. Ducks are great, I guess. But yeah, he's got a fun design. Be curious to see what they could do for him. The next series is Finding Dory. We've gotten a lot of characters already suggested here with Nigel and Gil as a duo, a trio between Blow Up Bubbles and Jock, and then last time I just suggested Bruce. This time I'm going to Finding Dory specifically, and I suggested Becky. I guess she can just work on her own. I do like them being able to include fish with the land creatures, but I don't know who to suggest to put with Becky, since we've gotten all the main ones already, and we kind of feel forced to just put one of the side characters in her bucket. So let's just see Becky as her own character. She could definitely do it. She's a fun comic relief who doesn't even say anything. So my friend really likes Becky. I'm sure she would love it if Becky got added. And I'd love to see it too. I'd be curious what they could do with her. Let's go to Gargoyles. And I really love Gargoyles and their characters, and I've already suggested quite a bit. And this one's just going to like fill out the main cast. We got Demona in the game, which makes me really happy. And then my second suggestion was Hudson and Bronx as a duo. And then the previous time, I really like Eliza. Or is it, I never know how to pronounce it. Is it just Eliza? I haven't watched it recently, so I don't remember. But that's like the human character I suggested. Let's go back to the main cast. I am going to suggest a trio between the rest of the main cast. Broadway, Brooklyn, and Lexington. I don't know if any of them would work on their own, and I'd really love to just get all three of them. So I would love to see a trio of them, and I feel like they could do it. They work pretty well as a trio in the show as it is. And I love them all, so I really just wanted to get the rest of them in here. And I think they could legitimately work as a trio, so I'd love to see it. The next series is Kim Possible. Last time I said I wanted to see Shigo. This time I'm going with Ron Stoppable and his naked mole rat Rufus, who I know a lot of people want to see as well. And I don't know, is it likely that we're going to get more Kim Possible characters? I sure hope so. And I think it's pretty evenly matched between Shigo and Ron. Either one could really show up. And I don't know if they would just do Ron and put Rufus as part of his moveset, or if they would actually give him the status of a duo. That would be really nice, but sometimes they don't do that, so I don't know. I would love to get Rufus in it too. Honestly, they couldn't add Ron without Rufus. I just don't know if they would do it as a duo or not. But that would be really fun to see. I hope it happens. Let's go to Moana. I've already suggested we get Tamatoa and a duo between Pua and Heihei. Last time I thought Grandma Tala would be the next one. I almost went with her father, but I ended up going with like just the Kakamora in general. I don't have a picture of the Kakamora chief, but maybe they would choose him and then just have some regular Kakamora minions come out and help him or something. I don't know, but I think the Kakamora have a pretty fun design, so I would like to see them, you know, in the game. They are enemies in Disney Sources Arena, so they at least have a couple of moveset possibilities. They do a couple of different attacks, so it's possible, I guess. They don't do much in the movie as far as I remember, but it'd be fun to see them in the game. I think their designs would work pretty well for it. Let's just move on to Peter Pan. And I've already mentioned Tinkerbell, TikTok the Crocodile, and Wendy. This time I'm going with Captain Hook's sidekick, Mr. Smee. I really don't know what Mr. Smee is all about. I don't remember. I just remember him being on the boat with Captain Hook. I feel like he's pretty similar to like Lawrence from Princess and the Frog. I don't really remember. But Mr. Smee's one of the other main characters, I guess. I almost went with the other two kids who are with Wendy, but I decided to go with Mr. Smee instead. No real reason for it. The next series is Ratatouille, who is just really hard at this point to come up with characters that actually make sense. Because I've already mentioned Skinner, Emile, and Gusteau, who already is kind of a stretch. And this time it's just like, you can't make a moveset for Anton Ego. But how many other characters are in this movie that you can make a moveset for, you know? So I don't know. I guess there are some other chefs that I could have chosen, but Anton Ego's it would be really funny to see them try to make a moveset for him. Like, he just critiques the enemies, really brings down their spirit, gives them a 1 star, and they're just sad. I don't know. It'd be funny to see, but there's no way it would happen. The Emperor's New Groove is the next series. I've gotten Kronk correct already. That was my first suggestion. And then I suggested Kuzco next, which is obviously the most likely after that. I'd also love to see Pacha get added, but I don't know if he will. And this time I'm going with Pacha's wife, Chicha. And I almost went with the kids instead, or maybe did like a trio of her and the kids, but I decided to just go with her. And again, this is another one. It's just like, that'd be hard to make a moveset for her. There aren't really any other characters that do all that much. I almost went with the squirrel, honestly. I think the squirrel might be in Kronk's moveset, though. But yeah, there's just not a lot of characters to choose from. So that's why I went with Chicha. The Jungle Book, however, has a good amount of cast. I've went with Ka and Bagheera the previous 2 times. And I was going to go with the wolf. I think his name is Akela or Akela. I can't remember how it's pronounced. But then I realized, how have I not done this already? Mowgli? The main character of the movie? Why have I not already suggested Mowgli? I would rather get the animal characters first. But I mean, like, at this point, of course I'm going to suggest Mowgli next. He's literally the main character of the movie, so... Obviously he deserves a spot. I don't know if they plan on adding him. We haven't gotten any Jungle Book characters in a while, but it would be fun to see Mowgli get added too. You definitely have a friendship with Baloo. There's no way he wouldn't. Let's move to the Sword and the Stone with Arthur and Archimedes as my first 2 suggestions, and Sir Kay I chose last time simply because I don't know any of the other characters and he was the first one that showed up for me. And this is another situation where I did the same thing. Except I think the picture I found him was pretty funny, Sir Ector. I just thought his picture was funny, that's why I went with him. And also he showed up right after Sir Kay. I don't know who Sir Kay and Sir Ector are, but that's why I added him, because his picture was funny. Hopefully he's an important character in the movie. I have no idea. The next one is Up. Last time, I think Alpha would be a fun one to see. That's what I mentioned last time. I've seen a lot of people suggesting this one. Charles Muntz. I really just don't know what they would choose for his moveset. I guess if they didn't add Alpha, they could have Alpha as like a duo with Charles Muntz, or they could have him just have dogs come into the battlefield and fight for him. I guess he fights with the sword at some point, doesn't he? So they could make a moveset for Charles Muntz, I guess. I don't know, I'm not that excited in seeing Charles Muntz. I'd rather have the dogs. But I don't know, they could make a cool moveset out of him. The next series is Wall-E, and we're fresh out of robots to suggest for it. I've already went with Otto as a duo with the captain, and then Mo. Last time I suggested Bernie. This time I think it'd be fun to see John and Mary as a duo. They're the 2 human characters who kind of become, well, they don't really even fall in love. They just kind of like start a relationship by the end of it, and they like catch all those babies. It'd be funny if they had a move where they just like did something with the babies. I was gonna say throw babies, but I don't think that can be allowed. But it would just be funny if they had some moveset about catching the babies or something. That was the kind of the most biggest thing they did in the movie. I don't know. They ride around in their chairs. I really don't know what to suggest for the moveset, but like I said, we're out of the main robot characters. There's not really any more that you can suggest, so I just went with John and Mary. I think it'd be a fun idea either way. I don't know how likely, probably not likely at all, but it'd still be fun to see. Next up is a Goofy movie, and I've already suggested the 2 main ones, Max and Roxanne. Last time I went with Bobby, because I just think Bobby is a funny character. And funny enough, I was going to do a duo between Bobby and PJ, but then I realized, hey, I want to do another one of these, and I don't know who the heck I'm going to suggest for the next one, so I might as well just split them up. So this time I just did PJ by himself. Sorry I have such a blurry picture for this one, by the way. But yeah, I don't remember PJ's personality being all that interesting. Bobby was a lot more funny to me. But PJ is really the only other main character in the movie. The son of Pete as well, which is pretty cool. It'd be really sad if we got PJ before we got Pete though, huh? His name is Pete Jr., isn't it? Isn't that what the PJ stands for? Anyways, like I said, I'm pretty much out of characters. Maybe I choose Goofy's hot girlfriend as the next one. I don't know. The next series is Atlantis. And it's been a tradition of just picking a random character because I don't know who any of them are. Except for Milo, who I think is probably pretty likely actually. And then next I went with Dr. Sweet. Last time I went with Gaiden just because I thought he looked funny. This time I went with Audrey, and I think she actually looks pretty cool. Again, I have no idea what she does, but Audrey would be interesting to see, I suppose. The next series is Brave. And I've already mentioned Mordu, the Queen, and King Fergus. And this time I think this one's maybe sort of likely, and maybe one of the more likely trios in general. Harris, Hubert, and Hamish married as brothers, and I think a fun move set they could have would be to start out passively as the three brothers, just kind of causing mischief, and then when they become active they turn into the bear versions of themselves and just are stronger and attack the enemies more aggressively or something. That'd be kind of fun. Like I said, I think they're one of the more likely trios that we could get at this point. The next series is Cinderella, and last time I suggested Cinderella, and this time I went with Jack and Gus, the two main mice. Are they the only mice? I don't remember, but I don't think they're the only mice, but they are the two main ones. And they have added what's his name, Basil. So I think even though they're very small, they could work on their own. I know it'd probably be a more popular suggestion to do like the stepmother, or maybe a duo between the two stepsisters. But I like Jack and Gus a lot, so it'd be fun to see them make a moveset for them. And if we were to get Cinderella, it'd be great to get a friendship between Jack and Gus as well. The next series is Coco, and I've suggested Hector and Pepita and Ernesto. And this time I'm finally choosing Dante. I don't know if Dante would work as his own character, but he's really the only main character that I haven't already gone with. And I think Dante is really cute. People probably think he's a little ugly, but he's awesome. He's a great dog. So it'd be fun to see what they could do with Dante. He could definitely have a friendship with Pepita if they were both to get added. That'd be fun to see too. And maybe he could turn into his like rainbow, colorful form that he has at some point in the movie. That would be fun to see too. The next series is Pocahontas, and last time I went with John Smith. This time I'm going for the main villain, General Ratcliffe. I think this is a pretty obvious one, and is probably pretty likely. I don't know if they're planning on doing any more Pocahontas characters. If they are, it'd be great to see Ratcliffe, but I wouldn't doubt it if they just want to do Pocahontas by herself, because that makes a lot of sense too. But if we are going to get any more, I think Ratcliffe is probably the most likely one we will get next. The next series is Robin Hood, and we just got Sheriff of Nottingham, which was my second suggestion, my first one being Prince John, and the last time I suggested Little John. I'm happy we got Sheriff of Nottingham, and I got another one right before I was able to do this list here. I guess I should mention, I don't know if he's come out yet. By the time this video goes up, he probably has. Maybe he was the sign-in hero. I don't know. I guess it's pretty dumb of me to even say, because it'll be pretty soon when we find out. And then Maid Marian is the one I'm going for this time. And I haven't seen Robin Hood in a very long time, so I don't remember what Maid Marian even does. I don't know what any of the characters do, to be fair. But she is the last kind of main character we have to suggest, so it'd be fun to see Maid Marian. The one thing I know of her is that dance scene where like they copied the animation for her, so maybe she just dances a lot. That'd be fun. I don't know what else to say. Let's go to Sleeping Beauty, or oh my gosh, I've suggested so many characters for this, so we're just out and I'm just left to go for random characters. We did a trio of the three fairies, Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather, a duo of Aurora and Philip, or Prince Philip specifically. Last time I said King Hubert. This time I'm saying Queen Leah. I don't think Queen Leah is married to King Hubert. I think King Hubert is like either Prince Philip's father, or just another king, or maybe the grandfather. But I don't think they're married. I think they're two different lineages or something. But I don't know anything about Queen Leah. Just looked at the character list and chose Queen Leah since I chose a king last time. And that's all I have to say. Let's go to Snow White. I went with Snow White the first time. Septet of the Seven Dwarves, which is probably pretty unlikely, but still would be fun to see. And then Prince Florian, I said last time, and I mentioned the last one that I thought I had a pretty good idea for this next character. I don't know how likely it is anymore, but I still think it's a pretty fun idea. If we just got the magic mirror, like to see it floating around. To be fair, when I thought of the magic mirror, I was thinking of the design from the Shrek movie. The design is very different in Snow White than I was picturing. I would prefer the mirror from Shrek if I'm being honest. But still, it'd be fun to just have the magic mirror like on a wall in the back or floating alongside the other characters. I don't really know what it could do, I guess, as a moveset, but we're pretty much out of characters anyways, and I didn't want to go back and retcon my 7 dwarves idea, so I decided to go with the magic mirror. Still, I think it's kind of a funny idea. There's no way it would ever happen though. We do have the Great Mouse Detective, which has a lot of characters to still choose from. I chose the main villain, the Ratigan, for, I guess not the Ratigan, his name is Ratigan, for the previous video. And this time I'm going for Fidget. I've never seen the movie, so I'm just basing my choice off of the design of him, and I thought he looked pretty cool. It's fun to have a bat character alongside Basil, so it'd be fun to see. I don't know anything about Fidget, like I said, I just liked his design. The next series is the Little Mermaid, and I really think we should get Ariel at this point, and I also suggested King Triton, and a duo between Flounder and Sebastian, and this time I'm going for Prince Eric. Again, Disney Sources Arena was able to make a moveset for Prince Eric, so it's definitely possible for Disney Heroes Battle Mode to do it as well. I don't care for Prince Eric all that much, but I'm sure other people do. And that's another series which is like, I don't know who else has suggested this point. We could get the Seagull as well. I'm blanking on his name at the moment. But there's really not a lot of characters left. Unless you wanted to do all the characters who sang in Under the Sea, that would be a lot. The next series is Princess and the Frog, and I did a duo between Tiana and Naveen, another duo between Louie and Ray. Last time I suggested Lottie by herself, and this time I'm going for Lawrence, Dr. Facilier's sidekick. And I remember him being like, I don't know, I remember hating him. He did something really mean in the movie. I don't remember what he did. But he was just as much of a villain as Dr. Facilier. Sometimes the sidekicks are kind of just there. But he was just as bad as the main villain, so he deserves a spot too, I guess, just because he was also pretty evil. The next series is the Rocketeer, and as I mentioned last time, the only interesting character from the Rocketeer is the Rocketeer himself. So I just went with the villain, who is Neville Sinclair, for the previous video, and this time I'm going with the love interest, Jenny Blake. Again, she has no interest in costume, she doesn't have that much of an interesting design either, she's just kind of there. So, I don't know who else to suggest, there aren't a lot of characters from that anyways. And finally, we have the Hunchback of Notre Dame, the newest series to be added, with Esmeralda obviously. And I could have went with the Hunchback very easily, but instead I'm going to go with Claude Frollo, because I think he's maybe a little more likely, and I always think we should get more villains. And I think Esmeralda and Frollo are the most popular from that movie anyways. Frollo's a pretty evil dude from what I've seen. I've never seen the movie. Actually, I think I saw it a long time ago, but I just don't remember anymore. But from what I've seen of Frollo, he's pretty messed up. And it'd be fun to see him get a moveset as well. Anyways, I think that was definitely faster than the previous one. I didn't have a lot to say about a lot of the characters because a lot of these just didn't have a lot to say about them. Because I've done 4 of these now, and we're getting to the point where there aren't that many characters left. And I'm thinking that this is going to be my last one of these. And that's kind of sad, but I had a lot of fun doing them. But there's no way I can come up with some more characters for some of these series. And if I do, they're just going to be as bad as a lot of the ones on this list already were. So I hope you enjoyed this anyways. I know a lot of them were just like me saying, yep, I don't know what they could do with this character, but I hope we get them. Which is pretty disappointing. But there were some in here that I legitimately think have a chance. And legitimately are some interesting characters that we could still see. And if you have any other suggestions for characters we should get, let me know. I'm thinking of also doing another 10 series we should see in Disney US Battle Mode video as well. So look forward to that too. But anyways, if you watch this whole thing, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you soon. Goodbye.